Hello, true duelists. YGO here, committing what many would consider to be a sin by making a video in the You Should Play series and making it about the birds. Yes, this is a video I didn't think I'd actually be making, and yet here I find myself sitting in front of a camera, alone in the room, with some birds. It's a sorry state to be in. Apologies. Actually, no, not apologies, just questions for God. How did I end up here? I'm gonna blame you instead of myself and my actions for it. Moving swiftly on, however, Floowandereeze is a viable deck in the current meta, which is not something a lot of decks can say based on toppings of recent YCSs as I make this video. And that is a large reason why I might recommend playing it, as well as why you might be interested in playing it. At its core, I believe there are 3 reasons someone might want to play Floowandereeze. 4 if you count the immediately beaten into the dirt D's nuts jokes that, good God, that wasn't really that funny day 1, but by day 2 it was already enough. But speaking of Floowandereeze,
he's nuts. Got him.
Floowandereeze is a very simple, very reliable, and when it goes right, very strong series of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And best of all, they are cheap as all hell. Thanks to the Megatin reprints, I don't think any of this costs more than like $5 individually, and it can go a long way. You definitely can get some bang for your buck in regards to these burbs. Number 2, and it's the reason I've seen complained about the most, because it really does not excuse the playstyle of the deck or how it feels to play against Floowandereeze, but some people really like the art. And I'm one of those obnoxious fucks that just likes the art, okay? I remember the first time I saw Floowandereeze art. And
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Those birds look fucking adorable, and I remember seeing them and telling my friends, I don't care how expensive the deck is, I don't care how good or bad the deck is, I am playing the birds. This is quite possibly some of the most entertaining to look at art I've seen in a long time from Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I read the effects, and I realized, oh no, my friends are going to hate me if I bring this to a casual night of dueling, and hate me they did. Or they would have, because I haven't actually, they're here. The deck ain't all here. I have the full deck. I haven't played it myself yet though, because I value my friendships. Now, what does that say about me telling you to play Floo? Don't know, don't care. You're gonna have to read into the subtext, or what we like to call in this business, the blatantly overt overtext, because there was nothing sub about that joke I just made.
Purely based.
Going over the cards themselves, this deck is fantastically simple, because really there's only 3 tribute summons you play, there's 4 monsters you summon, and there's 3 spell and trap. Going over our good old little buddies first, we have the screaming bird of the thumbnail, Robina. Every lil Floowandereeze is level 1 and has the same sorts of effects. They all are banished when they leave the field face up. They all will add themselves from banished pile to hand when a bird is normal summoned, and they all have an effect that activates on normal summon that will include performing an action and then immediately afterward normal summoning another winged beast type. So you've got Robina, which searches any level 4 or lower winged beast and then immediately normal summons. The bread and butter play will be then to search Eaglin, which searches a level 7 or higher winged beast type. It will then normal summon itself off of the Robina effect, and then you can immediately normal summon the big bird by tributing both of these 2. The other 2 level 1s worth mentioning are Stree, which is a DD Crow of sorts on normal summon, and Toucan, which can recover a banished Floowandereeze card from your hand, or back to your hand. Really good for getting back the spell and the trap. And that's it. You just kind of loop these, because once you summoned one and it's banished, it'll come back to your hand and you can summon it again and again and again and again and again and again. Now, they lock you out of special summoning, which means you're just going to be normal summoning, but when you normal summon this many times in a turn, it may as well be special summoning just under a different name. And that is certainly what it feels like. The number one card to end on, and the number one card you fucking hate if you've played this deck, is of course M-Pen. M-Pen will search any Floowandereeze spell or trap on normal summon before allowing you to normal summon again. And if an opponent tries to activate the effect of a monster in attack position, no, they don't get to do that. And then lastly, because obviously you just want to beat over it so you don't have to face the floodgate, this can banish a card from your hand to have the attack of anything it battles, which means you need like 6,000 attack to get over this. And you can't Boral Sword it because Boral Sword can't activate its effect because it's an attack position. So just a fun deck, just a quality time for everyone, and everyone's having fun and we're all smiling, and you're not going to get a black eye, don't worry about it. The other cards that people play are Mist Valley Apex Avian, which is just hilarious to me that this is seen play sporadically throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history. It was a pendulum deck tech at one point. Now we normal summon it. That's how far Yu-Gi-Oh has progressed. When they tell you it's just special summons and negates, nah son, we got normal summons and negates nowadays. And it's still the same big chicken. It returns itself to hand to negate any card. What else needs to be said? Mega Ryza is yet another big-ass chicken, and he's just as good as Little Ryza was back in Perfect Circle Monarchs, only Flu's a lot better than that was probably. Mega Ryza can target one card on the field and one card in either player's graveyard on normal summon, and if you tributed a wind monster, which you most certainly did, will target an additional card on the field and return the first two targets to the top of the decks and the second target or third target back to the hand. So you can get your own cards back to hand if you need it, or you can just get rid of two cards on your opponent's field. It's really good, not much else to say. Now, I'm going to be incredibly bold and brave and courageous and mention Snowl, or Snowel, whatever the hell, whatever, him, the man's, the little bird on the owl's actually really tiny in it. It's just the birds. It's just a Floowandereeze on the art. It took me a while to see the owl. This one is not played in any deck, but I really like it, so I play it badly. It's shitty M-Pen, because M-Pen's a floodgate, whereas this is just a bit of disruption. If you want to play this deck and not have your friends strangle you at the end of the night, maybe Snowl's the choice for you if you're a little more casually oriented. This one gives you 3 normal summons per turn if it's on the field while tribute summoned, which is just funny. It's not needed at all in the deck, but it is funny. And then instead of being a floodgate, it lets you banish a card in your hand to Book of Eclipse the opponent's entire board. And it actually has a third effect I've completely forgotten. That's right, when you attack a defense position monster, your monsters do piercing. So it's a little Unga Bunga beatdown, it's a little more disrupt instead of negate or stun or whatever you want to refer to M-Pen as. And it's honestly cooler looking in the artwork factor. So if you aren't looking to gather hatred, then I'd say Snowl might be your preferred choice, assuming that you care about the opponent at all in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you just are here to win, M-Pen's M-Pen, more like M-Wen, again, when for win. Fuck this joke. There are 4 spell and trap worth playing in this deck. The first one that I'll mention is the map. The Floowandereeze field spell has 2 effects. The first lets you reveal a Floowandereeze in your hand to banish a Floowandereeze from your deck, and then immediately after that resolves, normal summon the revealed Flu. This does get you a second additional, normal summon that isn't your normal summon per turn, which is very important for Floowandereeze because you want to normal summon a lot. The second effect makes it so that if the opponent normal summons, you can immediately after that resolves normal summon your birds. Yeah, this just lets you play on the opponent's turn. It's incredibly obnoxious. It takes a long time to do through your, bird, and it's just good.
All of this just works.
It's just phenomenal. There's not much else that need be said. It's at 3, you're playing it at 3, and you want to see it in every duel. Floowandereeze in the Advent of Adventure is a quick play that replaced Book of Moon, which was unironically played in this deck at one point, which I personally loved, but will let you banish a winged beast from your hand or field face up to either add a Floowandereeze monster or a field spell from your deck to your hand and then gain 500. It's essentially Burr Baroda or terraforming, and is flexible and also great, and technically can help you to win in time by giving you more life points. So that's worth mentioning. And it's got Floowandereeze in the name, which means it's searchable off of M-Pen. Just things to take note of. The other spell worth mentioning is Floowandereeze and the Unexplored Winds, which is sort of like a Monarch Stormforth for Flu. This will let you tribute any card the opponent controls and one of your own monsters when you tribute summon a Floowandereeze monster, which means if you open this and any one of your little burbs and a big one, you can still get out your your big burb without Robina or Eaglin searching, depending on if you still have opponent's cards to tribute. And it does tribute spell or trap or monster, so I hate it, and it's really good. It also has another effect that will let you reveal 2 winged beasts from your hand to put them on the bottom of the deck, and then draw up to 2, up to the number you put on the bottom, which is cool. And I like when my opponent does it, because that often means I get to Ghost Ogre it. But that's only when I have Ghost Ogre, so that's a useless thing for me to say. Moving on to the next card, it's Floowandereeze and the Dreaming Town, which says normal summon on the opponent's turn. And that's pretty much it. After it resolves, you normal summon. And then you do your Robina into Eaglin, into Ryza, or M-Pen, or Avian, or whatever it is you've got going on, all on the opponent's turn. And if you control a level 7 or higher winged beast, when this is in your graveyard, and you tribute summon that level 7 or higher winged beast, I should say, you can banish this card to flip all monsters the opponent controls face down. So for no particular reason, it's just also Book of Eclipse in the deck, which means Snowl's kind of irrelevant when you play this deck at the highest upper echelons. That's partly why people don't. But again, if you don't want to be punched in the throat, Snowl might be the way to go. And that's the core of the deck. It's interesting. I like that it all chain blocks itself once you get a banished burb. And then, you normal summon Robina, chainlink 1, banished bird, chainlink 2. Now you can't ash it. It's still Veiler or Imperm or whatever, but you can't ash, so it's a bit of a pain in the butt. Because that's really important, because if you negate the Robina effect to search, you also negate the normal summon, because that's how the card works, and then you're just stuck with a 600 attack level 1 bird, and you probably lose. And that's the summary of the deck, really, is either you go off and you've just got this incredibly recursive advantage engine that will stun the opponent and you can win quite easily, or you get bricked up and you lose. It's amazing. Nothing you do to a tribute summon deck will fix the fact that monarchs are built on bricks, and bird monarchs are also flying bricks sometimes. It's impeccable. The deck is, as I've said, quite contentious because of its play style, and for me, because it reminds me of my personal trauma. You see, my sister had a beautiful son conure while I was growing up named Savvy. Savvy fucking hated me. He absolutely hated me. I would come home from school, walk in the door, and be greeted by a bird flying at me that would then land on my back of my neck and bite into it and just tear and just do that bird thing where they shake the head and biting at my neck. And it fucking hurt, and it was a terror walking into the house, and maybe it was deserved because when I was tiny and young I harassed the bird a little bit, but that bird decided that my 8-year-old actions were to be held against me right up until I was 18, which I felt was a little bit harsh. The point of this story is the birds are the devil. Birds are hate-filled creatures composed of nothing but evil. And I'm traumatized by them, and I don't trust them, and I do believe that they are fake and that the government is spying on us using them. Have you seen a sleeping pigeon? Of course you haven't. They're recharging. Look, rapid deterioration of my brain aside, this deck will not make you friends. I don't recommend playing Floowandereeze if your intention is to just play some casual fun at Yu-Gi-Oh! This is a very stun-based deck, and it's a very hate-based deck because it's a bird. It's a bird deck. Birds are hateful creatures. They just fucking are. Still, it is very cheap, and it's good. You can't deny that it is a good deck that can get you some easy fucking wins sometimes. And some locals don't have a casual night. And some people don't want to face the tier 1 threats or the tier 0 threats, and they just don't want to get curb stomped every night. And if you're dealing with that, Floowandereeze might be an acceptable fuck you to the opponent in regards to just wanting to play and not get curb stomped. Still, provided your locals is more, let's say accommodating to a casual night or whatever, like some locals do, and really all locals should probably if they can find time in the slot. Regardless, morally, I am obligated to tell you that you might not want to play Floowandereeze, but if you're looking for a win, you maybe should. I've only played it once. I haven't played it. I bought the cards and I can't bring myself to do it. I only played against it. You see, my friend and I both got this deck because, like me, he also bought Too Much Burst of Destiny, but also the burb artwork looks really cool. I like it. So we wanted to play it. And at the time, I was playing Invoked Shaddoll. My two buddies told me, yo, we should play Shaddoll versus Floowandereeze. That'd be a really good matchup. And I was like, no. What? That is the worst matchup. That's a free win for Flu. Why the fuck would we do that? And they're like, no, they're both really strong decks. It'll be even. It'll be good. And I was like, I'm just gonna lose. And they were like, no, it's gonna be a great matchup. And so I was like, all right, fine. I'm a big boy. I can take it. Let's go. Let's duel. Let's try. And you're not gonna believe it. He played Flu. He did full combo and ended on the Barrier Statue of the Wind, which I did not mention because I don't like that card, but it's a very good card that you can end on if you're brain dead and just want to lock out a duel. So, yeah, that happened twice pretty much, and one game I kind of bricked, one game I at least got the Alistair out and the Mechaba, but it was not enough against the M-Pen, so I promptly lost. And I was like, wow, that sucked. I guess we can try against Phantom Knight. And again, lost the die roll, put out a Barrier Statue, and I tried to crash into it with a tour guide, to which he Book of Moon, and I lost. Two very swift losses in my end against that deck, and I was like, well, I didn't have fun, and the duels are done now, so I'd like to stop playing against Floowandereeze now. How about we swap out or something? And that was my experience with Flu. And since that, he hasn't played it. I haven't played it. I don't think the deck's very fun and rewarding personally. But again, it's about winning sometimes, and it most certainly can do that. So if you're a fan of not spending money, winning some duels, and being violently assaulted after locals, then I have a great deck to recommend to you, because it also looks cute as shit. Try out Flu. It's the deck for you. The video's done now. That's the goo. Subscribe to YGO Strats. I did it again. I made a video, Mom. It was perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Fuck you, game. Dog shit, pizza shit, fucking stupid fuck ass piece of fuck. Making me stand up in my goddamn Minecraft pajama pants to put up a fucking